Yo, what's good everyone? It's Zigzag here. Welcome back to another Geoguessr video. As you watch this video, I am over on my way to Sweden to be a caster slash analyst for the upcoming EMEA championship, which is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. It's going to be really exciting. Obviously, the lineup is super cracked, and instead of 8 players, we have 16 for Europe, which is pretty exciting too. So let's run through the groups, and then I'll do a tier list of who I think is going to take the whole thing. So we have Alok, Consus, Salek, Finbar in Group A. Obviously, Consus being the standout here. I think all the other players may be pretty even. Alok, I think, might be the most underrated here because Alok actually made it through both levels of qualifier to make it to the World Cup. And then if I'd lost to him, he would have made it to the next stage and to the round of 16. So to the round of 12. So pretty impressive stuff from Alok. And I definitely don't want to underrate him when I go to my tier list. You know, it has to be said, he hasn't played in many tournaments or anything recently. Doesn't really grind comp, so it's hard to know. Group B has Topotic and Debre. So Topotic and Debre are two people who were inside my group and beat me in the last World Cup. And then we have Armani and Ricky Beast. Very strong group here for sure. Group C has Blinky, Wolftracker, Crookst, and Kodiak. People are calling this one the group of death, especially because of Blinky, but also Crookst is like a really upcoming player. Ex-Minecraft speedrunner who's turned to Geoguessr professional play and is one of the best players at Brazil right now, as well as a number of other countries. So definitely keep your eye out for Crookst in this tournament. Do not be surprised if he wins. That is my message to you all, even though many of you would not know who he is because he hasn't played in too many tournaments yet, but that actually stands to reason. Then of course we have Kodiak and Wolftracker, who I'll talk about more in the tier list, but also formidable players in their own rights. And then we have Group D, which I think, contrary to Group C, is probably the lightest group in terms of expectations. That's not to say it's weak. In fact, I definitely think one of these players could win the whole thing. It's just my opinion here. And we have Gelotris, who beat me in the World Cup. We have Lenley, who made a really deep run in the World Cup as well to the top 8, and who, you know, did a decent job against Consus. And then we have Kratsu and Marta, and both players, actually they're switched around the avatars, but both players are very strong as well. Marta probably being the player in the whole tournament I know the least about because he's probably the only person I haven't played against. So yeah, I think the groups here are actually fairly even. I do enjoy the way they've made them. Just like putting 2 people from the qualifications and 2 people who were in the World Cup last year makes sense to me. So I don't really see any problems with that. Looks good. So now moving on to this tier list, let's see exactly what I think here. No offense to, I'm sure many people who are in this will be watching right now. Guys, I like you all. Don't feel any hard feelings if I put you lower. Indeed, that's just a good opportunity to go ahead and outdo my expectations, right? I'm going to rate things relatively here. Obviously, every single person is a strong player as well. Okay, disclaimers out of the way. Let's go here. Alok, I'm definitely not putting D, but I definitely think it's probably C or B is the most deserving here. I think if you compare it to the rest of the competition, I think Alok probably is maybe a high C. So that's where I'm going to put him for now. Yeah, that's what I have to say about Alok, I reckon. Armani. So we have to admit here as well that many of these players in the bottom row are some of my best Geoguessr friends, so there is a bit of bias going on here for sure. That being said, I do think Armani is a really strong competitor to go far in this tournament. I definitely pick him to get into the top 10, and I'm going to put him in the B tier. I definitely think probably lacking a bit in the moving, but a very consistent player, super strong on US, has multiple strengths, and yeah, I can definitely see him going far. Finbar, I think also probably B tier here, probably a bit below Armani. I think Armani's just got a bit more of that like experience under his belt, whereas Finbar has that explosive rusher potential where if you see any rusher round come up, obviously Finbar will be heavily favored to be closer and to knock out his opponent in turn. Okay, Blinky. I think Blinky is an S tier player. In the group stages, maybe more like A, but as soon as it goes to 2 moving games, I think Blinky is an S tier player, and I think it's also reasonable to assume that Blinky will make it to the World Cup and therefore to the playoff stage. And so I think we'll see Blinky go far in this tournament. My prediction is that Blinky is an S tier player and a strong contender to win it. And then why not put Consus up with him? Obviously, we're not going to put Consus any lower than S here. Bro is the best player in the world at no moving, probably, if not very close. He's very competent at moving in NPZ as well. You know, in the absence of Shimmy, in the absence of Castrola, I think Consus is probably the favorite to win the tournament. If not, probably Crookst or Blinky. Crookst is next as well. Okay, Crookst, I want to put A, and honestly, I've been talking him up so far, but I don't really know what his skills are like on moving. I would assume good. From what I know, he's just really cracked on NM, and we're just gonna have to see what he's like on the other ones. So I'm not comfortable putting him S, but I think he's a high A. Debre. I think Debre is stronger than Armani and Finbar. I think he's probably like a lower A to me. Very strong, knows a lot of information. Like I think he knows his US area codes. I think Debre lacks consistency, but has like crazy guess potential. I'll put him below crooks there. Gelotris is a B tier player for me, kind of a similar deal to like Armani, where I expect him to just be consistent, be able to do a really good job on most type of rounds. So yeah, I guess I would put like Gelotris next to Armani here. That seems reasonable to me. Gelotris, you could see an upset from him, but I just don't think he's really able to stand up to like Consus or Blinky on like a moving game, for example. Okay, Kodiak, I don't think is as prepared for this as he was for the World Cup. We have to take his rather, you know, less than desirable result from the World Cup into account. I think I would put Kodiak at the bottom of the B tier. Obviously, he's super strong on moving. I think he's got big upset potential against the best players here, especially on moving. Like, I think every single person in the field he can beat on moving, and then Indonesia's such a big country, and he knows very many metas on Indonesia. So we'll see, but I would put him, yeah, in the B tier. I think that's fair. Kratsu. So Kratsu is someone I think has improved a lot in the last year. He went from being kind of like that typical French moving player archetype to really grinding no moving and kind of becoming more of a Blinky, where he comes from that moving background, so he has like super strong use of information, but at the same time he's also really good at NM now. So I think for Kratsu, I would definitely also put him in the B tier. Not really sure where would be good. I think maybe above Finbar. I think that would make sense. Maybe even above Gelotris. I think I actually do rate Kratsu these days, so we'll have to see about that. Lenly. I think I would actually put Lenly in the A tier here, because I really rate Lenly's ability on moving, and then he's just a like very solid fundamental NM player as well, and of course NMPZ as well. I think all in all that Lenly is a low A tier player, probably a bit below Debray and Crooks, very much a contender to make it far. Marta is someone we don't know too much about. I'm going to assume that Marta is quite good, considering he made it, you know, through the qualification stage, which is pretty impressive stuff. Top of C tier, bottom of B tier, not really too sure. Honestly, this is kind of an unknown, but I'm gonna put him in C tier for that reason. Ricky Beast, again, it's the deal with like Ricky Beast, Sarlacc, Marta. They all made it through the qualification stage without being too known. I don't think I've ever seen like Ricky Beast when I've been like been in tournaments and stuff make like crazy guesses, but I definitely consider him a strong player. I don't know, like I guess I would also put like top of C tier. Ricky, you know, if you're watching this, bro, prove me wrong, bro. I want to see you succeed, but you know, I guess you're just a bit of an unknown at this stage, so I'm gonna put you top of C tier. Sarlacc, I think I do know Sarlacc is quite a strong player. I don't think I remember the results of Finbar's games against Ricky, Marta, and Sarlacc too well, but I think just in general, I've seen Sarlacc be like quite a solid player for a long time, so I think B tier would probably be appropriate here. I might go like that. Topotic, okay. Topotic is an A tier player, I believe. I think Topotic is an A tier player. I think above Debray. Maybe not. I'm not sure how much he's been grinding. I'll put him above Lenly though. Topotic is just someone with like absolute sound fundamentals. He's been playing the game for literally like 6 or 7 years consistently, and I don't know, like I just really rate Topotic. I really do. Finally, Wolf Trekker. Wolf Trekker is definitely an underdog here, but let's not forget, just like Alok, he was one game away from getting through the group stages in the last World Cup, and so it's hard to put him anywhere apart from the C tier or the B tier here, I think. Wolf Trekker, here's what I'll say. Wolf Trekker is not the most consistent player, but he is the type of player who will pop off absolutely well and truly, but he is the type of player to get around right when no one else knew what it was. You know what I mean? So it's like if you check the Rainbow Daily Challenges, sometimes Wolf Trekker will be the only one to get around right. And it's like, how? So I think that's what comes from being like a map maker, and also very much like a meta player who understands, not meta player in like car metas, but in terms of like houses, and he has like little clues for a lot of different things. So yeah, I would actually put Wolf Trekker maybe here, and that is my tier list. I don't think there are any D, even though I did this relatively, I don't think there's any D tier, because I think every player could win the tournament. I do think that. Obviously the players in C, I think that would be like really quite a shock. Players in B, like, yes, it would also be like unexpected. But yeah, we can just about see anything happen here. Blinky and Contest, the grand finals from last year's World Cup, both in this tournament, surely should make it to the top 4. And if we go back here, that's why I want to say like Group A, but particularly Group C is the one to watch out for here, being very scary indeed. Okay, that's my tier list. We're gonna have to see how accurate I am at the end of this thing. And obviously, you know, I'll be casting. I like all these guys, so I want to just see some epic games. And also, you know, special shout outs to Lenly, Kodiak, to Armani, to Finbar, to Wolf, to Gelotris, my good friends. And I mean, really, I could keep naming names because many of these guys are friends, but yeah, just hope that the games are really good and that they can go far. And I would thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned for more coming up soon. Also, tune into the tournament, which starts on Friday. So yeah, guys, I'll say thank you for watching, and till next time, goodbye.